News starts now.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on our streaming. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley, joined by meteorologist Derek Lansford and senior chief meteorologist Rusty Lord, talking about the warmest day of the week. This is pretty great for mid-December, I gotta say.
If you thought yesterday was good, we made it to 47 degrees. So some perspective there when I'm talking about the forecast here for the next couple of days. We're going well into the 50s today, folks, but it is still cold. 25 feels like 15 right now, so you still want the heavier coat to start off the day. The air stings for a little while this morning until it starts to warm up. You can see widespread 20s on the map. Lincoln down to 19 now, feels like 10 there, so cold morning ahead, but look how quickly that south wind is going to help warm us. It'll gust to near 20 today. Not all that bad, 15 to 20, probably the worst of that wind. And you can see on the satellite and radar some clouds streaming in from the west. What's going to happen here is mostly sunny this morning will turn into partly cloudy this afternoon with some mid and high level clouds moving on through. So let me show you what that does during the day. By 9 o'clock, we're upper 20s. By noon, look at that, up near 50 degrees. Now, it is going to be colder in west central Iowa north of I-80. That's where you got the most snow over the course of the weekend, and the cloud cover might be a little thicker there at times, but overall by 3 o'clock, how about 53 degrees in the metro? And it's warming up significantly today, up into the 50s pretty easily. Notice the colder 30s over the snowpack. By 5 o'clock, we're falling back through the 40s. And then into the evening, a pretty quiet evening. 30s eventually will turn into 20s by tomorrow morning, but probably upper 20s to start off the day. And then from there, we should be able to warm yet again. Let me show you what that looks like. 53 for the high on Wednesday after, again, a chilly start. Here's the deal. I think Wednesday's going to have a little more wind with it, and it's going to have more clouds with it as well. So today, probably the better of the 2 days, but overall, tomorrow's pretty darn good. You can see the shower potential after 10 o'clock. Watch for that late. I think it's going to stay warm enough overnight Wednesday night. As the rain moves through, it's probably not going to be a big issue. Not going to be cold enough to ice up, not going to be cold enough to lead to any snow or anything. It should just be a chilly December rain Wednesday night. Also, the wind on Wednesday picks up. It'll gust to 25, maybe 30 miles per hour at times out of the south. Another reason why we're still going to warm up a fair amount on Wednesday. So looking pretty good there over the next couple of days. You got 50s today and 50s tomorrow.
Okay, you mentioned wind on Wednesday. Not the only day we're going to see wind, though.
Yeah, the strongest wind is going to be Thursday. That's been sticking out quite a bit over the last couple of days. So pay attention to that one. And you can see by early Thursday morning, we're talking 2, 3 in the morning, still got a southwest wind, but look at these northwest wind gusts parked up here to the northwest. Those will be diving in by 7 o'clock, gust to 25. Look what happens by noon. We're gusting 50 plus over much of the area. So expect a very windy day on Thursday. One that could be damaging to Christmas decorations once again. If you remember what we dealt with last week, it was one of the mornings. I can't remember the day specifically, but we had gusts up near 60 miles per hour. I think these will probably be a little weaker, but they're going to be during the day, not during the early morning hours. They'll last for a while. By 4:30, still gusting near 50, and then into the evening they back off. They'll flip on Friday. They'll be out of the south and try to gust up 25 to maybe 30 miles per hour again on Friday, but a south wind will bring the warmth back. So just a brief windy cold snap, it looks like on Thursday, because an early high of 42, remember that's a morning high on Thursday, very, very early. We should fall off in the 20s by the end of the day, eventually teens by early Friday, 44 Friday afternoon, 45 on Saturday. Pretty good weekend. And right now, we've got 50 in the forecast for Christmas Day. And everybody wondering about a white Christmas. Actually, the record high on Christmas is 57.
Oh.
So that's, I think, more attainable than a white Christmas right now, the way things are looking.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but have you, a recent memory, recalled a 50-degree Christmas?
There was one when we had a front moving through and brought some thunderstorms and some wind with it. But
I remember that day.
But overall, yeah, I think the record's back to 1946.
Wow.
If I remember right. So it's been a while. It'll be interesting to see if we threaten that.
All right, nice little treat.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get an update on traffic this morning. A couple crash to alert people to.
Yeah, it's been a busy start to the morning.
Been.
We've had a number of different issues. At one point, we had debris spilled on I-80. That's been cleaned up, but we've had a couple of crashes in the metro as well. So we're starting on I-80. That's kind of been where we've had the bulk of our issues. Right now, it says you get just past I-480 interchange. So you've got traffic merging in from the JFK to go westbound, and it's right where all that traffic is merging where we have our issue. Still very busy scene. Looked like we had a vehicle that maybe left the roadway, and so we have the right shoulder that's blocked. But again, it's the fact that it's right where all these vehicles are merging to go to I-80 is the problem that we have here. So be ready for some delays as people are trying to make their way in. And yes, I've been saying I-80, 480 a lot, but JFK, this is actually impact you almost the most out of anyone, because you have everyone trying to merge in off of the northbound JFK, and that's backing up traffic. Down around Q is where we've seen the delays reach early this morning, and it's almost in two spots where we have the delays, as we do have those down to around Chandler as well, with a second little area that is slowed from where we've had things kind of back up. So as you're heading northbound on the JFK, we've plenty of time. Be ready for it to be slower. If you're somebody who tries to go to westbound I-80, you'll be going right by where that issue is with that crash. Now let's go down to Bellevue. This is another crash that we have had in place at the intersection of 36 and 370. Looks like we just cleared this one fully. So still some remnant delays right near the immediate vicinity of that intersection, but that should be improving here over the next 5 to 10 minutes as that crash now cleared at 36 and Highway 370. We zoom out, and you can see that the JFK with those kind of almost a stripe pattern of yellows and oranges with those different spots that are slowed. A couple of minor delays that are showing up on Northwest Radial Highway. Dodge with a couple of spots as traffic picks up. Most of the metro is actually moving pretty well at this point. It's just we have these certain spots where we've had these crashes where things have been impacted a little bit more heavily. So I'll continue to monitor that and give the first alert if we do get those to clear up. If we get some of our backups to improve, we'll be watching the whole situation.
Okay. Sure, thank you very much. Starting off with your Big Red Extra coverage, Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola plans to enter the transfer portal when it opens January 2nd. This, according to multiple reports, including one from ESPN. That's been 2 years since he committed to Nebraska, making him one of the highest rated recruits in the program history.
Raiola briefly posted this on his Instagram story before deleting it. His expected departure is the final shoe to drop in the Raiola family exodus from Lincoln. Dylan's season came to an end when he suffered a broken fibula against USC November 1st. Well, less than 3 weeks later, his brother Dayton Raiola decommitted from Nebraska. A week after that came the first of several kind of vague reports indicating that Dylan could test the transfer waters. 10 days ago, Rule fired Dylan's uncle, Donovan Raiola, after 4 seasons as the Huskers' O-line coach. Well, officials with the Nebraska Department of Correctional Services opened the doors of the McCook ICE detention facility.
5 state senators took part in a guided tour. Now, last week, we told you about Omaha Senator Michaela Cavanaugh being denied entry to the center twice, which she argues was illegal. After that, the state offered the tour. These 5 state senators also attended our Lincoln sister station, caught up with 4 of them. Now, they say they were shown every corner of both buildings. They were allowed time with staff to ask some questions. The senators say they did not feel the capacity was an issue. Lawmakers estimate up to 150 detainees were inside.
Well, flags are flying at half-staff this morning across Iowa to honor the 2 Iowa National Guard soldiers killed in action overseas. 25-year-old Sergeant Edgar Brian Torres Tovar of Des Moines and 29-year-old Sergeant Nate Howard of Marshalltown were killed in Syria. 3 other Guard members were hurt. Guard officials say they do expect the fallen soldiers' bodies to arrive in Iowa by the end of this week. Right up at the safety desk with our Maria Cade. We're talking Lyme disease this morning. And Maria, thousands of people in America are diagnosed with this disease every year.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more common too, especially across the country. It is a deer tick-borne disease, and it infects and hurts the immune system of people every single year. So there is a new website that was just launched yesterday from the Department of Health and Human Services. On that website, Americans can get a fact sheet on the disease. One doctor from the Surgeon General's office says spotlighting Lyme disease is very important because, again, it is spreading to more parts of the country. But up to 20% of those cases have longer-term effects if they're not caught early. If they are, though, there is medication that can help.
Yeah, but if not, I know somebody who suffered for months and months because of this.
Very debilitating.
Yeah. All right, Maria, thank you as always. And we're back after this short break.
All right, welcome back. Time now 7:14 early on this Tuesday morning. Taking a live look outside, overlooking Midtown Crossing and the downtown Omaha skyline. Right now, this morning in the metro, sitting in the 20s. Going to need some warmer gear, but you can get rid of that by this afternoon.
Without a doubt. If you did so yesterday, you can easily do it today because it's going to warm up even more after a cold start. 20s feel like teens as you step out right now, and you see the heavy coat, warm hat, and gloves all the way around to start the day. But we get towards 10, 11 o'clock, those numbers are really going to start to climb. So weather headlines today, warmest day of the week. Midweek, we have some strong wind and a cold blast coming in, but it's pretty brief. And we are trending pretty warm heading towards Christmas week. Right now, we're in the 20s, but look where we're heading with our highs today. A lot of 50s across the metro area today. Same story outside the metro, too. Could even make a run at 60 farther to the west. Now, you'll notice here it is colder in west central Iowa because you have thicker snow cover. The impacts of that it can have on a day like today are very noteworthy, and that's the difference to the northeast. So a couple of things to watch over the course of the day. Notice the wind potential. Breezy, windy, breezy over the next several days after we get through today. There's rain chances Wednesday, but they're late. So we'll have a south wind during the day on Wednesday and then rain late, probably after 10 o'clock with a round moving through. And you're wondering, okay, rain at night, isn't that going to freeze up? Well, not the case Wednesday night. Temperatures are going to stay warm enough, likely in the 40s most of the night on Wednesday night. So it's just going to be a chilly rain, and it's out of here by early Thursday before any cold air can catch up to it. So it'll slide to the east and out of here, and we'll watch likely clear skies on Thursday morning, not be that big of an issue. Then the wind becomes a factor on Thursday. That's the biggest thing to pay attention to. You see this little down arrow right here? 42 for the high on Thursday early, probably 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And then the numbers will fall off as this northwest wind howls most of the day. It'll gust 30 to 40 miles per hour by 10 o'clock, likely spike up near 50. I think 45 to 55 pretty common. And that's going to lead to some maybe damaged Christmas decorations. Hold on to your car doors. Hopefully we can avoid power outages with this one. It is going to be a little weaker than what we had with the last round of wind, so that's good news. But first, alert to a windy day on Thursday. And the good news is we get towards 7, 8 o'clock, those winds will start to subside into the evening and eventually during the overnight as well. And then breezy south winds pick back up on Friday and take a 15-degree morning low, turn them into 44.
All right, we can't complain about that. We're also getting a glimpse of what Christmas would look like for weather-wise.
Yeah, it's showing up on the 10-day forecast here. So everything keeps trending pretty darn mild as we get towards next week. A lot of 40s. I tacked on about 2 degrees to everything we had in the forecast from yesterday. So Christmas Eve here with Santa, 48 for the high. Not too cold Christmas Eve night. Into Christmas morning, we'll go 50 for the high later on. And even look beyond that for the rest of the month. Warmer than average, trying to win out over a large portion of the country. So that's the case to end the month, and likely to be a little drier than average. All the moisture most likely to be contained on the West Coast, California, Oregon, Washington.
Wow.
But overall, yeah, pretty tranquil right now. And, you know, there's probably going to be a one weird day in there, kind of like Thursday is this week. We'll see where that shows up. But overall, a lot of mild air.
Okay, good to know. All right, let's get an update on the roads this morning with Jarrett Lansford. How this crash is looking?
I wish I could use the word tranquil.
Not today, you can't.
Yeah, it's been busy this morning. We still have impacts as that crash I-80 is still a busy scene, and that's what you're seeing in the upper right-hand corner. It is calmer elsewhere. You can see Dodge there as you're heading through about the 72nd area here in the bottom right, and that looks pretty good. And that's the case for much of the rest of the metro, but we do have our problems still on I-80. This is right past the 480 interchange where you've got the right shoulder being blocked. And that's right where a lot of people are merging in from 480, from the JFK, and you can see how things are a little delayed in that stretch. But it's more than that. When you zoom out, you can see how the JFK is backing up quite a bit as you're heading northbound all the way back down almost down to the Chandler area. We've had delays at times, and I do expect this continues to build while we have that scene. So if you're somebody who uses the JFK to head northbound, be ready for things to get slow as you get near Chandler and further north from there as people try to merge as a result of that crash. Things quite slow all the way on the JFK. So something you need to keep in mind as you're heading out and about this morning. I also want to real quick get to this. This is a road closure on Leavenworth. If you're somebody who uses Leavenworth a lot, this came in yesterday after a gas main break. There's repairs that have to take place. So the road is fully closed between 28th and 26th, and it will remain that way likely into the beginning of next week. So you'll need to use an alternate route. Not a lot of great options for alternate routes at this point, but Douglas would be one that you could use to make your way eastbound. When we look at the full picture of the metro, getting some slowdowns on Center, this likely tied to people who are looking for ways around I-80 and L Street. So watch for that as you're heading through that stretch, and then a couple spots on Dodge that are also slowing down. Also, just as we're live, this updates in real time. You can see there eastbound on Blair High getting some delays as people are trying to get to 680. So I'll keep an eye on that. Keep you posted with anything else involved with that. But a lot of spots that are getting some of those orange shades. I don't like that. If you're heading out the door, you want to make sure that you are prepared for maybe a little extra time to be needed.
All right, Jared, thank you. And the local Jewish community, they're responding to the attack.
State and local leaders joined the Jewish Federation of Omaha's meeting to discuss how to move forward. Everyone at yesterday's meeting condemned the attacks, with many pushing for action to stand against anti-Semitism. Metro law enforcement are also encouraging those in the community to stay vigilant and report any suspicious activity.
First alert for Valley residents, a special city council election set for next month. This after voters recalled the mayor and city council president in November. The election will be done entirely by mail. No polling places will be open. They must be in the hands of the Douglas County Election Commission by 5 o'clock, January 13th. Ballots will go out starting next Monday. We'll be back after this. An Omaha holiday tradition going 50 years strong. Chances are, maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't, but you and your family have taken in a live showing of A Christmas Carol.
An original adaptation was crafted at the Omaha Community Playhouse. Charles Jones was the executive artistic director at the Playhouse 50 years ago. The theater was looking for some financial relief after the devastating 1975 tornado. Well, he adapted the production to bring money in to fix the theater. A Christmas Carol is running at the Omaha Community Playhouse through December 21st.
Wow. I never would have thought that they would have been in the path of the tornado.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's about close to where it would have lifted towards the end.
So when I spoke with Susie, who's the director of the production, she said the entire roof was blown off of the theater. So they needed to come up with money pretty fast to fix that and get all the renovations done. And they were originally going to do like a holiday variety show, but then the executive director, that was when he went ahead and adapted the original novel. All of the songs in it, they told me, were actually old English carols, traditional carols. So some of them are some common songs that we know that are still played today, but other ones are actually ones that date back, I think, to 15th, 16th century that they pulled to be a part of this production to make it really authentic and be like Christmas songs that would be heard on the streets of London at the time that the production actually takes place. But it's pretty incredible because a lot of the people who are still involved, they were in that original production.
Isn't that
50 years
amazing?
ago.
They come back every year.
Every single year.
That's such a great history lesson. Small confession.
Yes.
I have never seen it.
I was going to say, have you guys?
I have never seen A Christmas Carol.
I haven't seen it yet either.
I have never seen it, period.
Wait, no one here has seen A Christmas Carol?
I was in a, I haven't.
I've never seen it, period.
I was in a version of it back home.
I'm
but
not
I've never
surprised.
seen.
You do know.
Okay.
All right. Oh, we got to go.
Watch the movie.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for joining us. We're going to for our update in the Today Show. Of course, you can watch it here on streaming or over the air.
Have a good start to your day.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Tuesday morning to you. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley. A crash to First Alert you to this morning. We'll get right to Jarrett.
Yeah, we're getting impact still as a result of a crash. It happened around an hour ago. This is I-80 as you're heading westbound just past 480, and it's where a lot of traffic is merging in off of the JFK and from 480. Here's the look at the scene. You can see still pretty busy at this point with that right shoulder blocked, but a lot of the impact's actually coming for traffic on the JFK that is trying to get through that area from I-80 all the way back past Chandler. You're looking at delays. So if you use the northbound JFK, be ready for those slowdowns. Many other roads moving along pretty well, though we are getting some delays on Dodge right around 144th back toward 180th. Rusty.
Thanks, Jared. Well, temperatures are plenty cold enough. All those cars have the heater on this morning, but they likely won't by the afternoon. With temperatures in the 20s right now, you got wind chills that are down in the teens. Again, any breeze will set that wind chill back into the mid-teens. Drop-off forecast 24 or 25 degrees here at 7, 8 o'clock, going to 27 at 9. So still cold as you take the kids to school, but look what happens later on. We'll climb into the 50s, 53, 54 by the time the kids are getting ready to head home today. A great one with a high of 54 expected. Still pretty good tomorrow, but more clouds and a little more wind on Wednesday. South wind gusts up near 30 miles per hour. Notice the rain after 10 o'clock Wednesday night. That should be gone by the time you wake up Thursday, and then an early high of 42, very windy and falling temperatures on Thursday. Aaron?
A special city council election is set for next month in Valley. The election will be done entirely by mail, means no polling places are going to be open. Ballots will start going out next Monday. They must be in the hands of the Douglas County Election Commission by 5 o'clock, January 13th. We have a list of the drop boxes up on our website. That's at firstalert6.com.
All right, it is 7:28. We're back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then.